Hello everybody, this is Laura Susan Johnson with Period Pieces, and I am going to review one of my all-time favorite movies. It's from 2001, Disco Pigs, starring Cillian Murphy, Elaine Cassidy, and directed by Kristen Sheridan. This is a movie that, whether you're somebody who only knows Cillian Murphy casually, like in the Christopher Nolan movies or 28 Days Later, or if you're a hardcore movie fan of his, a hardcore Cillian fan, you already know this movie. But I highly recommend it. Even if you don't know who he is, I recommend this movie. I am a hardcore Cillian fan since about 2002 when 28 Days Later came out. That's when all of us Americans figured out who he was. Otherwise, he was Irish property exclusively. Cillian Murphy was in this play called Disco Pigs before it became a film. Therefore, this is one of his first lead starring roles, and one of his first film roles, period, really. And he gives the most amazing, psychotic, endearing performance that you'll ever see. This is based on a play by Irish playwright Enda Walsh, and it's basically, I guess, it's not really a period piece. You could call it a period piece from, say, 2001, I suppose, or 1999, or whatever. Sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s. It takes place in County Cork, Ireland, and it's about two babies who were born in the same hospital on the same day at almost precisely the same time, and they bond. And immediately, they kind of develop this antisocial attitude towards just about everybody around them except for each other. From the time they're infants until the end of the movie, they basically almost exclusively disregard everybody around them. They create a fantasy world for themselves that is porcine themed. They are the king and the queen of Pork City. The boy calls himself Pig, the girl calls herself Runt. Their birth names are Darren and Sinead, but they would rather be called Pig and Runt. They live next door to each other too, which seems a little bit surreal or maybe far-fetched, but it adds to the charm. It adds to the ability for them to continuously be with each other, continuously, almost constantly, be in each other's world. They drill a hole in the wall between the buildings, and they hold hands at night through the buildings. They talk to each other at night before they go to sleep. When they're getting ready for school in the mornings, they meet each other out in the front gate. They're telepathic. One morning when they're children, they even meet each other wearing swimming pool toys. It's really cute. They're both endearing and very, very, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like, to the world around them within that universe, they're very unlikable, but to you, the viewer, they're very enchanting. So, like it or not, they're your protagonists. Pig, played by Cillian Murphy, is the more, say, unhinged of the two, or mean-spirited of the two. He kind of comes up with the mean pranks and the mean gestures and the hateful dialogue, whatever. And Runt, she's a little tamer. She's more of the voice of reason in their little unit. But she does love to bully on people and play pranks. They go to nightclubs and they dance and they drink. And she pretends to want to dance with guys. And when she's dancing with them, Pig comes up right behind them and pantses them. Right in front of everybody. Very cruel. They bully on the kid that works at the liquor store so that they can get free liquor. They are mean to all the classmates, mean to the teachers. They deface the school portrait of the class portrait, you know. They're not allowed to pose in this big picture of the class, graduating class, because they're such bullies. So they retaliate by vandalizing the school picture. That's when the principal calls in all the parents. Darren has a single mom. Pig, aka Pig. Pig's real name is Darren. The single mom, no telling where the dad is. Don't know if he died, don't know if he left. They don't address it in the movie. Sinead has her mom, her dad. Darren has his mom and his little sister. Darren's mom couldn't give a shit. She laughs at everything that they say about how they defaced the picture. She just laughs. It's all a big joke to her. Sinead's parents act like they give a shit, even though it's clear to me that they should have set boundaries. They should have said, go home, Darren. Sinead needs to be, you know, she needs to be with other friends. She needs to make other friends. They should have sat with their daughter and said, you're spending too much time with just one friend. You need to make other friends. You know, set limits, use discipline, blah, blah, blah. So her parents care. It's just that they didn't make any moves like they should have. In the meantime, Darren has fallen in love with Sinead. Pig has fallen in love with Runt. Runt has always made beautiful dresses and tried them on and asked Pig to look at them and see how they look, you know. Just, you know, what do you think? How does it look? One day she tries on one of her new outfits, and instead of seeing Pig in a dress, he sees a beautiful girl. It's sexual awakening, just suddenly. Just in the blink of an eye. They're about to turn 17 years old in roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks. Pig is in love with Runt. Runt is oblivious. She has no idea what's just happened. Until later, either that night or a couple of nights later, when they're in another club, and instead of pantsing the guy that's dancing with Runt, Pig beats him up. And they run out of the club, and Runt is like, why'd you beat this guy up? You should have pantsed him like we normally do. You're not supposed to be beating him up. This is a prank. But he's gone crazy. He's in love with her. He was jealous because that guy was dancing with her, and the guy actually tried to kiss her. So he went crazy. He went ape shit, and he tried to beat the guy up. Then he tries to kiss Runt, and Runt is like, whoa, 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 back away. Stop, stop, off. And Pig gets his feelings hurt. He doesn't understand why she won't let him kiss her. She doesn't understand why he's trying to kiss her. We got a bad communication going here. We got people, he's sexually awakened. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. So when they go home that night, she doesn't say goodbye like she normally does, and he's hurt. He's so hurt. The next morning, Cillian Murphy sits there, and he says a lot of stuff, and I know by a lot of the people that have helped me, there's some fans that have kind of deciphered it for me, because this is not a Jamaican accent, by the way, people. And there's so many people, I don't know how many people on the IMDb and on YouTube. Why does he speak in such an annoying, thick Jamaican accent? This is not a Jamaican accent. It's Cork, Ireland. It may sound vaguely like somebody's, you want to play Pokemon. It's not that. It's not Jamaican. It's cork. It's very thick. It's very hard to understand to an untrained ear like my own. And to this day, even though I've been watching this movie for years, I still don't understand it without somebody telling me every word he said. It's pretty raunchy, but it's also very sweet, erotic, whatever. Innocently raunchy, something like that, because these are two virgins, okay? They don't socialize with other people, so they're definitely virgins. Anyway, he has no idea the horrible surprise that awaits him. Sinead's parents have made up their minds. They're sending her up to Donegal to this trade school. They're going to separate her from Darren, and they're going to nip this problem in the bud. When Darren finds out that Sinead has been sent away without even being allowed to say goodbye to him, at first he just goes crazy. He has a panic attack, and then he just withdraws into himself. He sits in his room. He refuses to interact with anyone. He just talks to himself and cries. This is when his jackass mother decides to quote-unquote care. Bullshit. She doesn't care. She just wants the problem out of her house. If I tell you where she is, I can't have you back in my house. She just wants him out. She doesn't want to deal with him. She doesn't want to send him to a psychologist and have him interviewed and evaluated. She'd rather just have him out of her house and out of her life than meet the problem and deal with it. So she tells Darren where Sinead went, and he's on a bus. He tells this older man this couple of wacky ass stories. And one of the stories was actually quite disturbing, but I think it's the story from the mind of a child, a very delusional child. The story that implied that Sinead's father is an abusive person, a drunk, abusive person, when clearly that's probably... I mean, I just didn't get that from the realism in the movie. This is a story that Darren is telling this old man on the bus. And he's made Sinead's dad into this, arch villain, and Darren defeats him by killing birds. It's just strange. It's not really disturbing, but it just kind of more or less it lets you know that Darren's just a little boy. Pig is just a little boy. He's just a disturbed child. So yeah, really creepy, and the music just kind of serves to enhance the atmosphere. When he arrives in Donegal, after a night or two he even sleeps one night in some kind of barn or something. I mean, this kid is just... He's so determined to be reunited with his friend, his only friend in this entire world. He just doesn't care. He'll just do whatever it takes. He's just crazy. She's made a friend or two. She's come out of her shell. She's made some progress. She's expanded her horizons. She's salvageable. But you understand as soon as you realize, as soon as he's on the bus going for her, you understand he's beyond hope. He arrives at the school, and she is so happy to see him that she basically runs off with him, runs away from the school. They go to some pub where it's some kind of special benefit day at the pub, and they're singing old Irish fight songs. And Darren gets on stage, Pig gets up on stage, and he sings the Kinks, You Really Got Me. The last thing anybody on a night like that, in that kind of a place, singing those kinds of songs wants to hear is anything from a British band. So, a fight ensues in the bar, and a girl breaks a bottle over Sinead's head, and it's a big fiasco. She begins to understand it was a huge mistake to leave the school behind. Her life has changed, her world has changed. Whether she likes it or not, things have changed due to the forced separation between her and Pig. So Runt realizes things are different. Pig does not want things to be different. He hates that they were separated. He's so relieved to be with her again because she's his entire world. They arrive back in Cork City, and they go to a dance club where a classmate named Marky is working. Marky is one of the classmates that they used to bully. Well, he's working as a barman there. They get some beer. They drink. And Sinead notices that she's drinking in unison with Darren. They always used to take their drinks at the exact same time, just like a robot. Just like the twins that they are. They take their drink, they take it to the lips, they sip it, they put it back down at the exact same time. She notices herself doing that. She gets a little irritated at the whole scenario. She wants to be her own person for the first time in her life. So she breaks the rhythm, and Pig is so offended and so hurt that he storms off to the Jacks. He starts crying, breaking things, breaks a mirror. He creeps out everybody that's in the bathroom with him. And in the meantime, Marky comes up to Runt, and he asks her, would you like to dance? She's really shy, but she's like, sure, I'd love to dance. And so when Pig comes out of the bathroom and he sees Runt dancing with some other guy, the girl that he not only loves as his only friend, but is actually in love with at this point. He sees her, you think he's going to go pants the guy, but he does worse than he did last time when he simply beat a guy up. This is where I'm going to stop and just say this movie is phenomenal. I don't think there's anything like it out there. There's things that are sort of similar. Like I said, Heavenly Creatures by Peter Jackson. That's one movie, if I didn't say it already, gets compared to this movie a lot by those that know about it. But it's really almost a one-of-a-kind story, a one-of-a-kind film. I recommend it to anybody who will listen to me. It is really amazing. Just everything. The music. I know that Gavin Friday does the music along with a gentleman named Maurice something, but I don't remember the last name. I'll put it in the video. The supporting cast, I know Eleanor Methvin is Darren's mom, and though I hate the character, the actress did a great job. And I know the lady who plays Sinead's mom was in Circle of Friends with Minnie Driver and Chris O'Donnell, but I can't remember her name right offhand. So anyway, 10 out of 10, one of my all-time favorites. I highly recommend it. So if you ever come across it, don't hesitate to see it.